As the host of the Indie Author Podcast, podcasting for authors is a topic I can speak to from firsthand experience, and I'll offer several perspectives that I believe will resonate with my fellow authors. First, I believe that for many of us, a podcast is not an end in itself, but a route to a larger goal, specifically establishing connections within the writing and publishing worlds and building a community with listeners. These connections and communities are often a path to a further goal, income creation, either directly from the podcast or indirectly through other offerings, such as books or courses. These are the goals I have for my podcast, and I'll offer guidance to those with similar goals. Second, for many authors, the idea of putting ourselves out to an audience over the air might not be our natural tendency. I don't want to lean too heavily on the creator-as-introvert stereotype. I'm not traumatized by crowds, and I've done plenty of talks in front of large audiences in my career, pre- and post-indie author. However, my natural tendency is always toward more solitary pursuits, for example, working on a book or a short story, and I believe that many authors share that tendency. Therefore, the tactics I've used to make the podcasting process positive and productive, despite my automatic preference for solitary work, are tactics I believe will resonate with other authors. Third, podcasting requires an intrinsically different relationship to your creative output and your audience than writing does, a difference that may require authors to arm themselves with a different mindset. With writing, you can practice your craft with the comforting knowledge that if the product isn't up to your standards, no one else need ever read it. With podcasting, you normally don't have the luxury of producing the equivalent of a rough draft. With writing, your readers might be happy with a new book every year or two. With podcasting, you'll never develop an audience if you produce a new episode that infrequently. With writing, you might have a policy never to read your reviews, and you should certainly have a policy never to respond to them, publicly at least. With podcasting, engaging directly with your audience is a necessity. I have navigated both the writing and podcasting worlds and have found ways to make both work. In the Indie Author's Guide to Podcasting for Authors, we'll walk through the podcasting journey from the high-level strategies to the detailed tactics you can use to make sure your podcast is shipshape and Bristol fashion, in other words, in good order. If you're excited about what the podcasting voyage offers you as an author, let's get underway. Your destination lies ahead.